It's over a month since I put down roots here at River Cottage. Now that I'm a Dorset downsizer, the city smoke seems a million miles away, and there's not a cling-wrapped chicken in sight. I used to hate getting out of bed in the morning. These days it's complete bliss. Every morning I can see my vegetables are a bit higher, my pigs are a little bit fatter, and look forward to a day devoted almost entirely to my stomach. Right now I'm thinking about fish, and in particular the pike, that famous predator known for his ability to ambush unsuspecting smaller fish, but also thought to be partial to the odd duckling. And with this in mind, I've been working on a prototype artificial lure. Meet Daffy, the killer duckling. Before I can put Daffy to the test, there's just time to walk over the grounds, which extend to almost a third of an acre. I'm developing what's quite probably a rather unhealthy obsession with my vegetables at the moment. I'm out here 2 or 3 times a day, checking just to see if there's an extra inch of growth or millimetre of growth, or to see whether some horrible beastie's been nibbling at my leaves. But these 2 beds, which were just about the first 2 we planted, are doing fantastically well. The 2 types of potato, the pink fir apple over here, and the ratty, are looking very, very bushy and green. And the sort of leafy greens at the back, the perpetual spinach and the Swiss chard, they don't seem to mind this rainy weather at all. Already my bulb fennel is flourishing, and I should get some fine cobs on these sweet corn. The courgettes are coming on well, and my runner bean shoots are reaching for the sky. But not everything's rosy in my little plot. This was my second crop of broad beans. It was just coming up quite nicely until this morning when I got up and I just noticed this. They've just been pulled up, and I don't know if it's mice, which I know I've got in the house, or squirrels, which I've seen around the garden. It's a malicious act, wanton vandalism, destruction, without any nutritive benefit. Why? I'm very upset. This battle with garden pests is causing me unexpectedly high levels of stress. It's almost as bad as having a desk job. Still, at least I get to spend the rest of the day fishing. I'm off to the River Piddle to meet up with keeper John Aplin. John manages the pike population here to allow the wild brown trout to thrive, an exercise in vermin control which could provide me with a fish supper free of charge. I have to confess, John, I'm a bit of a fetishist when it comes to artificial lures. Recently, I had a bit of a kind of eureka in the bath, and I was thinking about this idea that pike sometimes take ducklings, and it's inspired my latest prototype.
That's certainly different, and it would obviously squeak when you got a take.
How about that?
Wonderful. So he's watching it, you could fish in the dark.
You could fish for pike in the dark. That's a brilliant idea.
I'd love to see you catch something on that. No, I think it's worth a try here.
Just along again that edge of slightly deeper water.
Definitely. It's a good spot.
You ready with your landing now?
I am. Always ready.
Okay, just close to the edge.
That's it. Ooh, spot on.
Looks like a duckling struggling with his first swimming lesson.
I think another cast across there. I thought we saw something move under the weed over there.
You're just saying that to get me excited. For some reason, Daffy fails to stimulate the pike's attack response. My clockwork Mr. Toad fares no better, and when Ratty also fails to do the biz, I realise it may be time to hand over to John and more traditional methods.
Right, we're going to use a smelt as bait. Similar to a sprat, but a little bit bigger. And a delicacy to pike. Apparently they taste and smell of cucumbers.
Let's have a sniff. Smells a bit fishy to me.
Yeah, it does to me. 1 or 2 big pike in a trout water don't do any harm at all. In fact, they keep the small pike down.
So what do you call a small pike?
Well, a small pike is anything really under 7 pounds.
Which happens to be quite a good eating size, actually.
So I hear.
So you get me one in the £5 to £10 range, I'll be very happy.
Oh, we'll see what we can do. We'll try this slack bit over here, I think, in case... The thing to do when you're fishing a bait like this in a pool is to try every...
We're in.
Look at that!
My God!
Got a pike.
God, it's a good
Look at
fish
that,
as well.
good one.
Brilliant. There's that net.
It's heading off back into the pool.
You should let him go if he wants to go on another.
That's it. Got to watch them when they shake their heads like that, because those hooks can come flying out.
Bring him in now.
Yeah, I think he's ready for the net now. Better get him in before he has second thoughts. Okay, well done, that man.
Oh, wonderful. God, it's heavy. What a beauty.
Lovely job.
What a great fish. Fantastic condition.
Beautiful. That is a super fish.
So when did you last eat a pike then?
About 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah, I've thought about it recently, but I've not bothered.
So you're going to take a bit of converting?
I think so, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
This is definitely the fish to do it with.
Good.
Lovely.
Good.
Before I can get on with the job of converting John to pike, there's the pig's supper to see to. And they don't need much converting to their feed. About the only problem at the moment is that they're so in love with this stuff, they keep turning up their snouts at my kitchen leftovers, which is a shame because this stuff costs money. Still, regular feeds, fresh bedding and water seems to keep them happy. But there's still the occasional bid for freedom.
Oi! Ah! No, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Come on. Come on. Come on, Charlie. In you get. Come on. Come on, Charlie. Oh, yes.
You do come across recipes for pike that seem to be aimed at disguising the fact that you're eating a pike. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to celebrate this fish in all its glory, because only that way will John become convinced that this really is a good eating fish. So I'm not going to use very powerful flavours. Just a few herbs from the garden, bay leaf, a few sliced onions, and a little bit of lemon zest. These nice aromatic flavourings should just complement, not kill, the taste of the fish. I'm cooking an intense, full-on, rather old-fashioned cold concoction of jellied pike. The pike is placed in a fish kettle with a few more onion slices, sprigs of fennel, parsley, lemon zest, bay leaves and water. A whole bottle of wine completes the court bouillon, which is brought to the boil and simmered for 10 minutes. The pike is removed once it's cooled completely in the cooking liquid. Its large head and thick skin provide an excellent source of natural gelatin. So this is the moment when we start to find out some of the bizarre secrets of the pike anatomy. The first cut just goes along the lateral line of the fish. Once we've worked through there, we can have a go at this skin, which is incredibly thick, almost leathery on a pike, but it should come off very easily. Look at that. You can make handbags out of that. It's a lovely bit of meat. I'm as happy having this in front of me as I would be having a 10-pound salmon. I think it looks great. And the difference with a pike is, whereas with most fish you'd have a lovely boneless fillet now, with this, in between every little flake along this muscle, there's a wicked little bone which has to be removed. Look at that. Vicious things. And on a smaller fish, too fiddly to be worth bothering with. But with these nice big fillets, they're actually quite easy to remove. The bone-free fish flakes are separated out and then tossed with plenty of finely chopped parsley. This is the liquid that the pike was poached in, strained through muslin and reduced to about 1/10 of its former volume. So it's strong in taste, and it's also going to have enough concentrated gelatin to set when I put it in this mould. So the whole thing comes together very easily. At the bottom of each mould, just put a little sprig of fennel. and just a couple of handfuls of boneless pike, and this just gets ladled over. And that's the story of the pike. Ugly and vicious in life, beautiful and delicate in death. After a few hours in the fridge, the liquid has set firm and the moulds of jellied pike are turned out and served up with a few salad leaves. It looks a bit different from when it came out the river. I want you to see what it tastes like. Because you said to me, pike is muddy, bony and not worthwhile. So
Absolutely.
have a go at that.
Yeah, that's much better than I expected. I think I'd even go to the stage where I'd actually cook this for a dinner party.
Would you really? Well, I'll give you the recipe. But the pike has the last laugh. I knew there'd be one. Have you had any yet? Look at that.
Well, funnily enough,
We got one each.
got one each.
You've nearly finished. Was that your
I
only
nearly
bone?
finished. That was my